Good evening, Dipti.
Good evening, sir.
So you know the purpose of this meeting, right?
Yes,
So
sir.
you will share your PhD interview experience at IIT Roper, right? And before the discussion, so give a brief introduction about yourself so that my viewers, my future student, can get some sense about you.
Okay. Hello everyone. My name is Deepti Singh. I am from Aligarh, Uttar Pradesh, and I have done my undergrad and postgrad in psychology from Aligarh Muslim University. And in this year, I have qualified GATE in psychology with All India rank 82. And I have also qualified UGC JRF exam in the same subject, psychology. And because of my keen interest in research as well as in teaching, I'm aspiring to pursue PhD. And recently, I appeared for IIT Roper PhD interview.
Right, very good. So now tell my viewers what was the overall process of IIT Roper for PhD for psychology. So can you elaborate this process, overall process?
so, so generally, when we talk about PhD application process, a number of time, the whole every IIT, almost every IIT releases the application PhD application forms twice a year, and I applied for the second semester. And
Hmm.
basically the forms for the second semester approximately releases around specifically if I talk about IIT Roper, so the PhD application forms were released around mid of October, around 12th or 15th of October. And along with the basic academic details, like any person who has done masters in any field with approx 6 CGPA or above, and at the this percentage varies based on your category. So they can
Hmm.
apply for PhD, and along with the basic academic details. In the PhD application form of IIT Roper, the student was supposed to upload the SOP also while filling the application
Okay,
form. So,
right.
yes, sir. And after filling the application form, around 2 or 3 weeks, I received a mail. So it was mentioned in that mail that your application form has been shortlisted, and you have been shortlisted for giving direct online interview for IIT Roper PhD entrance. Uh, online interview, and we were supposed to send them a confirmation mail regarding our participation in the interview. And
Right.
in that particular mail that was regarding our shortlisting, our application forms shortlisting, no details were given about interview. Firstly, we have to reply them. Firstly, we have to confirm our participation, only then they'll send mail. So after 2 or 3 days, again they send a mail that contain the link for the interview and all the other details regarding interview, like on what date has been scheduled and what will be the timing for the interview. So my interview was held on 5th of December, and the timing was 10:30 a.m. So I appeared in that interview. So this was
Okay,
the whole.
fine, great. Yes, yes. I think this overall this like this information will help my YouTube viewers and my future student and the current student also. So just Dipti, tell me one thing that you have mentioned. Student had to submit that SOP. Did they ask you to submit a research proposal? I know that Stemner purpose was important for the preliminary or primary selection or for primary shortlisting criteria. That is important for that, right? But my question is, did they ask you to submit a research proposal?
No, sir. We have to submit.
So can you, so did you prepare any research proposal for your topic or something? Did they ask during the interview regarding your area of interest or research proposal? How you prepared for that?
Yes, sir. To be very honest, I prepared research proposal, although in the application form we were not asked to submit that. But when we appear in any interview, PhD interview, I think it is very necessary to go with your preparation and go with a clear plan and clear idea,
Right.
because it gives a direction to the whole interview. And while I was giving my introduction in the interview, I mentioned about my research interest, and I also mentioned that I have prepared a research proposal on this specific topic. So it helped us, and it helped the interviewer also to get an idea that what is the interest of the student and what kind of questions we should ask. So I prepared a
Right.
research.
Right. Great. Fine. So now tell us, my viewers, that what were the interview question they asked to you during your interview in terms of psychology for PhD. Can you recall the questions, what type of question they asked you? And before that, tell that how many professors were there in the panel or in your panel?
So there were three professors in the meeting, and
Right.
the first question was very general. Like they asked me to introduce myself, and so I just gave a very brief and general introduction. And I also mentioned in that introduction about my research interest. And after that, like there was a term emotion regulation. So instead of asking me about what do you mean by emotion regulation, one of the professor asked me, firstly, tell us what do you mean by the term emotions? And
Right.
emotions, and can you recall any theory related to emotion, and how you can connect that theory with emotion regulation, the term that you have used in your research proposal. So this was the first question. They asked me to define emotions and theories related to emotion, and they asked me to approx three more questions related to my research interest. And after that, one of the professor, he asked me that um, you must have submitted SOP while filling your application form. So can you please brief us, and can you please tell us about how you frame your SOP, and what were the components that you have included in your SOP? So I explained him like what are the components I have included in my SOP, and what was there in my SOP. And after that, another professor, he framed a very hypothetical research question for me. Okay, suppose this is a research question and you have to find the answer of this question. So this is the
Right.
framework of the research question. Now in this condition, which statistical test you will be using to find the answer of this research question? So sir,
Right.
these kind of questions they asked, and they further asked me to what is regression, and what is the difference between linear regression and multilinear regression, what is bivariate regression, and what are the preconditions for using regression, in what condition should be fulfilled first. In simple word, we can say he was basically asking about assumptions for using regressions. And then he asked me about multicollinearity, what is the difference between MANOVA and ANOVA, and what test we can use to find multicollinearity, that whether there is multicollinearity or not among the variables. And further, he asked me about how you can calculate, how you can run moderation and mediation analysis. So, sir, at that time, I was not able to recall the steps. He was asking about SPSS, like how you can calculate moderation and mediation analysis on SPSS. So I very honestly replied that, sir, I'm not able to recall the steps, but I know the concept. If you allow me, then I'd like to explain the concept of moderation and mediation analysis. So he allowed me to explain the concept. So I explained the concept, and further he asked me, can you give one example differentiating between moderation and mediation analysis? Like this variable can be used as a moderator, and how this variable can be used as a mediator in another situation. So he asked me about that. And so there were a lot of questions from statistics. And later again, the last question was about my flexibility towards my research topic, like whether whether I am flexible with my research topic. I would like to change it if it is required. So this was the last question, sir. So These were the questions.
Okay, very good. So, for my viewers, I want to brief that Dipti has mentioned right now three things I got from this conversation. The first thing is that the topic you are preparing, you should have sound knowledge in terms of your topic, regarding your topic. That is the first thing. You should have theoretical understanding about your topic, what are the words you are using. And the another important thing is that what are the methodological process or methodology you are going to use, and the main methodology you are thinking you are going to use for your research and related methodologies. You should have clear idea, like Dipti has mentioned ANOVA and other related things, right? Regression, non-linear regression, okay, multivariate regression. So this type, if you are able to answer this question, so that means it's good. Okay, so just I want to tell all the viewers that this type of question you can get during your interview. If you are going to conduct your research, you are going to use the quantitative method. So Dipti, so your topic or topic was related to quantitative analysis, right? That's why this type of question they ask, right?
It contains both quantitative and qualitative analysis. It was kind of like mixed method approach. And sir, I
Okay,
also
so
add one
yes,
more point. Sorry to interrupt.
yes,
They also check your confidence level while answering the questions. Like when I was telling, I was talking about the difference between MANOVA and ANOVA. So after
mm,
answering, the professor asked me, "Are you sure this is the difference?" So, sir, you should be very confident while answering. You should not change your
right,
answers. You should be very confident.
right, great. So my next question to you, Deepti, that is what was your overall interview experience? All the three panel members asked you different types of question. Was it rigorous? So how was your experience? Can you elaborate it?
Okay, sir. Sir, my answer is quite subjective here because I'm very interested in statistics and research. So whenever someone asks questions from research and statistic, I don't find that thing very rigorous, and I just kind of like enjoy that thing when someone asks questions related to, research and calculations and about test. So overall, sir, I would say that the interview questions were kind of like mixture of everything. They were conceptual questions, they were technical questions, they were very application based questions, like in this situation which test you gonna use, and what is the difference between very basic and very technical questions were also there, basic questions were also there, and theoretical questions were
Mhm.
also there. So it was a kind of mixture, every type of questions were there. And overall it was a good experience, sir. And there was one of the question, I'm not able to recall that question, but I didn't know the answer of that question. So I would suggest, if you don't know the answer of any question, don't try to give fake or or based on your mind anything. Don't try to answer anything. If you don't know the answer, then you should be very honest. So I very politely answer, "Sorry, sir, I don't know the answer of this question, but definitely I'll try to find the answer of this question." So you should be very honest, because most of the time we might not know the answer of every question. So we should accept that also.
Right, very good. So my last question to you, Dipti, is that what will be your suggestion to the future aspirant who are preparing for the June season, 2024 June season, right? What will be your suggestion in your subject or any other subject? Okay, so can you say something regarding this?
Okay, so my suggestion for future aspirant is that, based on the interview which I have given, that you should not be focusing on one specific thing. Like along with theoretical knowledge, you should be knowing about. You should have very basic, your fundamental and basics of your subject should be very clear. It is very important. You can't ignore them. And your knowledge about your, and you should read your research proposal very thoroughly. And I would like to say you should be the hero of your research proposal. If you are going with your research proposal, then you should be knowing everything regarding that. For example, if you are,
Right.
I have used the term emotion regulation. So it's not like that. Okay, I'll be knowing the definition of only emotion regulation. I should also know that what exactly emotion means, from where this word is coming. So you should be very thorough with your research proposal. And along with that, please always keep going through the theories which are related to your subject. And you cannot ignore statistics. You cannot ignore research, your conceptual and technical knowledge. And you should also go through the formulas of research. Like one more thing,
Right.
they also ask, to quote the equation of regression. What is the equation of regression? And what does those symbol denote? Like if you are using the word X, then what do you mean by X? X is the dependent variable. So all these things were asked. So I would suggest that you should read the theories, you should read the statistic, and you should also thoroughly go through your research proposal. You should cover everything. You cannot ignore anything.
Okay, so again, so I have one more question, right? So can I ask? So this is about your overall PhD experience in 2023 for December session. Okay, for the spring semester actually, or winter session. So you appeared in 3 IITs, right? IIT Jodhpur for PhD interview for psychology. IIT Jodhpur, IIT Roorkee, and IIT Ropar, right? So
Yes.
can you differentiate these 3 interview experience? What was the difference across these 3 IITs? Okay, you appeared for psychology in IIT Jodhpur. So can you answer this question? So my viewers, my student will get some sense. अच्छा, uh, जोधपुर में ये होता है, रुड़की में ये होता है, एंड आईआईटी रोपड़ में ऐसा हो सकता है साइकोलॉजी डोमेन में. So can you answer, please, can you answer
Yes.
this question?
So, firstly, I'll start with IIT Jodhpur. So, that was my first PhD, interview. So, if I talk about IIT Jodhpur, it is very subjective. It is based on my opinion. If I talk about IIT Jodhpur, so the whole interview revolves around my research proposal. They don't ask me any technical questions or any formula or any, about any test, okay, when you're gonna use this. They just the whole interview, they just focused on my research proposal only. So the interview went for around 25 minutes, and for the whole 25 minutes, they just asked about the concepts and the words that I have used in my research proposal only. They don't ask any question from my dissertation or any other part. It was research proposal specific. And if I talk about IIT Roorkee, so as I mentioned earlier also, it was completely different. They don't ask much questions from my research proposal. They asked very theoretical and fundamental questions. And they focused majorly on theories, on psychologists, on every domain of psychology. They majorly focus on whether my conceptual and basic knowledge is clear or not, or whether I'm able to connect with the theories which I have read with real life. Whether
Right.
my base is strong or not, my base is strong enough or not.
Right.
And if I talk about IIT Roper, so I would say that it contained mixed questions, both theoretical, both technical, and everything was there in IIT Ruper's interview. So this was my experience, and this is my opinion. And for me, this was the whole experience.
Okay, so thank you so much for this interview. I think the future aspirant who are preparing for PhD in psychology in IITs, this interview will help them a lot. And once again, thank you, Dipti, for this interview. Thanks a lot.
Thank you.